Good morning. It's Monday, January 30th. And today I'm going to tell you a story about a drug company that made $114 billion over the last 6 years by gaming the U.S. patent system. AbbVie, for years, delayed competition for its blockbusting drug Humira at the expense of patients and taxpayers. And the monopoly is about to end. But this is an example of what goes on in this country. And this is an example of how companies make tons of money, yet they got the big tax cut. That's a horrendous crime on the American people. So back to AbbVie and the patent hustle. Back in 2016, Humira, which was a blockbuster drug, was about to become less valuable. It was going to become less valuable because a key patent on this best-selling anti-inflammatory medication, which is used to treat people with arthritis and diseases like that, the patent was about to expire. And regulators in the industry, the drug industry has regulators, right? But they can't do everything they should be doing. So the regulators had blessed a rival version of the drug, and then there were other copycats that were right behind that rival drug, because this was a very profitable industry, very profitable piece of the drug industry, selling drugs to people who have arthritis, because, that affects a lot of people, and it is not a deadly killer. So people on arthritis paying a lot of money to avoid the pain. Now, AbbVie is a very savvy company, and they have probably a lot of the top legal minds in the drug field, so to speak. They are able to block the competition from getting their patents. What AbbVie did to keep the competition out of the market was orchestrate a building block, a formidable wall of intellectual property protection. And they would sue the would-be competitors before settling with them. So suing delayed the thing, and settling was cheap compared to the money they were raking in. So they did that for 6 years. They kept suing and blocking and claiming intellectual property rules, and stopped our competition from launching their products until this year, until 2023. And it doesn't say how much it cost AbbVie, but let's say it cost them $100 million or $200 million. What is that compared to $114 billion that they raked in over the last 6 or 7 years? And so for the next 6 years, the price of Humira kept rising. And Humira is one of the most lucrative franchises in pharmaceutical history. Because as I said before, it generated $114 billion in 6 years. And you know what people are paying for this drug? People were paying up to $50,000 a year, but now the price has gone up to $80,000 a year. That's a fortune. Take a look at Medicare. In 2020, Medicare covered the cost of 42,000 patients and spent $2.2 billion more on the drug in those 2 years than it would have if the competitors had been allowed to start selling their drugs promptly. So isn't this a form of stealing, using the law to raise your prices and delay the competition? That's a sorry story for us to hear in America, especially with the cost of health care going through the roof. And then there are people who had to delay their retirement because they couldn't afford to retire and keep buying this drug. I don't know how anybody making just a middle-class salary could afford this drug anyhow at $50,000 to $80,000 a year. It's outrageous. But you know what's even worse? AbbVie didn't invent this patent-prolonging strategy. Companies like Bristol-Myers Squibb and AstraZeneca have deployed these same tactics to maximize profits on drugs for the treatment of cancer, the treatment of mental illness, the treatment of heartburn. But AbbVie's success stands out even in an industry that's adept at manipulating the U.S. intellectual property regime. So the drug industry is a disgrace to be in this country. And what's even a bigger disgrace is that the tax cut helped these people. This group of people should be paying more in taxes, not less. And the sad part of this story is that these drug companies are running rampant with this patent distribution scheme. Amgen piled up patents for its anti-inflammatory drug Enbrel and delayed the copycat version for 13 years. Right? And Merck and its partners have sought 180 patents related to its blockbuster cancer drug Keytruda. And the company is working on a new formulation that could extend its monopoly further. So is that what we want to continue to go on in this country, where medical care is expensive, but drug companies keep raping us? And then, of course, it's again, I'm going to say it again and again and again, they get a tax cut. Right? Humira earned $208 billion globally since it was first approved in 2020. In 2002. It's tough to get those things right when you're angry about something else. Now, in addition to treating the symptoms of rheumatoid arthritis, it's been authorized to treat more autoimmune conditions, including Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. Patients administer it themselves, typically every week or two, injecting it with a pen or a syringe. And in 2021, sales of Humira accounted for more than a third of AbbVie's total revenue. So they keep producing little wrinkles in the patent and keep themselves alive and keep collecting huge sums of money. And you know we're getting huge sums of money because in many countries, drugs like ours are half the price or a quarter of the price. But not us, and we stick to the fact that we don't have universal health care like all other major democratic societies wealthy enough that do that. So I leave you with that. Pissed about the tax cut and pissed about the fact that the drug industry continues to rape us. Have a great day. I'll see you in the morning. Bye.